Hello everybody. So basically, we took some time to just think about who we are as a business, and that kind of was the beginning of the journey of the rebranding from Agri-Tel Transportation to Agr-Fresh, delivering fresh and healthy. So basically, when we slow down to look at what we do, we've always kind of been honed in on the southwestern US, California, Arizona, running fresh fruits and vegetables up to the prairie provinces. And basically everything we did revolved around produce. So we thought, you know what, the agriculture really resonated, on the farming aspect. So we felt like the agri just belonged and stayed. We also like too that keeping that first part from Agri-Tel, but it was a second component when we went to use fresh. We just thought, we think of fruits and vegetables, produce. Freshness was always kind of the dominant word that came to mind. So that's where the Agr-Fresh came from. Again, in trucking, it's very common, that people use trucking, transportation, they say. One thing that we felt, we just wanted to, the statement came out, delivering fresh and healthy. And we thought, you know what, that's the way that we're going to say that we do transportation. So Agr-Fresh, delivering fresh and healthy was the outcome of it. The icon was a very important ask from myself in the redesign. Basically, when I think of some of the great brands, when you look at Nike, they have their swoosh. You don't need to see the word Nike anywhere. You see the swoosh and you know that is them. You look at Harley-Davidson, another iconic brand. You see the bar and shield, and you know right away that's Harley-Davidson. So when I would think about the long-term vision, the goal for Agr-Fresh and growth, I think about having an icon that people are going to see on our equipment running up and down the West Coast, and they won't need to see the name, that they will know right away that's those Agr-Fresh guys. They deliver fresh and healthy, So it was very important to have an icon. The delivered end result, I couldn't be happier with the icon itself. I think the first thing that you'll notice when you look at it, right away that you can see the outline of a tread print. So naturally, it's kind of the first hint that, hey, these guys might have something to do with transportation or trucking. So that's where the tread print resonated with us. When you look at the design of the tread print, the first thing you'll notice, if you look down the sides, you kind of have two arrows pointing southbound. And basically that is always the beginning of our journey. We're based out of Manitoba, but our core lanes, we run out of Manitoba, Saskatchewan, Alberta, and the first leg of our trip is always that southbound load, positioning ourselves to load produce. The next place when you focus, and the dominant part of the icon, is if you come to the middle and you look and there's a dominant arrow pointing north, and then basically the lugs of the tread print colors were added in there. So the first thing, like when I look at it, I see bananas, I see oranges, I think of strawberries, I think of broccoli, and I could go on and on with the different types of produce. But basically that's what the colors mean, is the freshness and the healthiness that produce brings with it. So basically, then from there, critical component that we've learned over the years to be successful and to make sure that those commodities deliver on time, fresh and healthy, is communication. Sometimes when we've slowed down to follow all the points that take place in just a single load, from the load coming from the customer into our logistics team, the load planner, to the dispatch, to the truck that's selected for it, to communicating with the shipper for pickup, confirming the time, the pickup numbers, to the driver, to the customs border paperwork, to the customer receiving it. I could go on, but there's easily 10 to 12 points of communication that need to take place for things to go right. And if you trip up along there, it can go wrong. So when you see all the intersecting lines, to us, that is the flow of communication, and just that reminder how critical it always is. Another thing that I see when I look at it is it almost looks a bit dangerous, and you could hurt yourself with all those sharp edges, So the edginess, I see a toughness to it. And if there's one thing I know is that when I think of fresh fruits and vegetables, it's fun, it's bright, it's lively, and I love that. But I also know in the transportation that takes place in the background, the work that we do, there's a lot of tough people, there's a lot of tough situations that we have to work through. And we do have a certain attitude to us, we do have a certain edginess to us. We get the job done. It's like we want those fresh fruits and vegetables on the table, and it's like we'll take care of the dirty work in the background to get it there on time, fresh and free. So it's a tough industry. It's a tough group of people at Agr-Fresh that I'm very proud of here. The tread tracks, the imprint. I know when I look at it and I think to myself, the vision, the growth of Agr-Fresh, we're just getting started. I know we can have a big impact. We want to deliver a freshness, just millions of pounds of fresh produce into the Canadian market. And so basically when I look at that, there's always reasons why it can't be done. There's always obstacles that want to pop up and kind of derail your plans. And I just think to myself, I think, you know what? Those obstacles, those challenges, all you're going to have is that tread print running up your back, because we do not back down from those challenges. We embrace them. We're going to figure out what we need to do to get past them. But, in my head sometimes I just think when I run into challenges, I think, yeah, you're going to have that tread print running up your back there. So anyways, there's a story behind it. It's very meaningful to me. It evokes passion in me. I work to share those feelings and tell this story to any of the team, customers, new people coming on, because obviously, especially the people that use us to deliver fresh for them, to our staff that are investing their time and efforts to drive this forward and make it happen. I want them to share and also to feel that passion and harness the energy when you see an icon that represents something that has meaning to you. So thank you very much for taking the time, and I really enjoyed just sharing my feelings and the story on the Agr-Fresh brand and logo.